So obviously, Jackie Kennedy, later Jackie O, one of these great icons of American history. How does the movie explore her life?
It's a different kind of biopic, Michael, and I think that's a good thing. This is a movie that narrows its gaze, so it's a select slice of time. This is the week, the days, even the minutes before and after JFK's assassination. But of course, from that woman's point of view, Jackie's point of view, this woman who was a prisoner of her image. You see her getting off the jet, someone who was the famous First Lady, trying to put her stamp on the White House, and then, of course, her husband shot. There it is, the motorcade, cradling his shattered head in her lap. We see that. We see the shock. We see the blood-stained, famous pink Chanel suit. We see her shocked as President Johnson is sworn in, accompanying the body, planning the funeral, being there for her son's birthday. Imagine that. A lot of this happening behind closed doors. So this is a mixture of imagined and real conversations. And our way into these amazing events is actually an interview with a journalist a week after. Now, this is a woman the world wanted to know what she felt. Where was she? What were those moments like? But she wasn't feeling very warmly to the press at the time. Take a look.
You want to be famous?
No, I am fine as I am, thank you.
You should prepare yourself. This article will bring you a great deal of attention.
Oh, in that case, any advice for me?
Yes. Don't marry the president. Are you afraid I'm about to cry again?
No, I say you're more likely to scream.
Scream what?
My husband was a great man.
That is Billy Crudup there as the reporter, one of the MVPs of 2016. But of course, talking about performance, you got to talk about Natalie Portman there. And that moment is really what it's all about. Screaming, my husband is a great man. This is a woman who is battling her grief, who is still in mourning, but also this is the creation of the city on the hill, of Camelot. She is now battling to protect her husband's legacy.
Well, you know, I've talked about this before. I find it challenging. I can't imagine what it's like to be an actor, to take on such an iconic role, a character that many Americans feel affinity to. How did Natalie Portman do here? You
know, it's interesting. I was so taken by her performance, I was almost afraid to compare it to the real thing. But it is actually instructive. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is show you the real Jacqueline Kennedy. So here she is from an interview in 1962 talking about a visit to Columbia.
I know when we went to Columbia, the presidential palace there has all the history of that country in it, where Simon Bolivar was. Every piece of furniture in it has some link with the past. I thought the White House should be like that.
So think about that breathiness, the sing-song quality of her voice. Now here's Portman as Jackie speaking to Press Secretary Jack Valenti.
I understand.
As I said, Mrs. Kennedy, I wish there were more we could do to accommodate your wishes. I'm terribly sorry.
Don't be. You and the Johnsons have already done so much.
I mean, it really is quite something. She has the voice, the rhythms, and also that fragility, the way she kind of held herself. With Portman as Jackie, you feel that pressure, the eyes of the world on this woman. Also at the same time, and you see the comparison there, it really is quite uncanny. But beyond just being in the White House, she's asking those moments, why? Why me? Why to lose her children and then her husband? Much like Manchester by the Sea, this is another portrait of grief. But she doesn't have the luxury of breaking down sobbing. And the Chilean director throws history into the blender, jumping back and forth from the motorcade to quiet moments in the bedroom, on parade, and then that great cast, Greta Gerwig as her assistant, Peter Sarsgaard as Bobby Kennedy, Richard E. Grant, so great to see him again, as the White House historian. The secret stars of this, the musical score by Mika Levy, which is like this requiem that never quite resolves, much like the movie itself, and then those all-important close-ups that make you confront that character. And behind that veil, the eyes say everything. 4.5 stars out of 5.